So to set up our tarp, we're going to need some cordage to run a ridge line between our two suspension points, and then we're going to need to know 3 knots. So I've got some brightly coloured cordage here to hopefully make this easier to explain. Let's take a look. So to secure the first side of your ridge line to the tree, any knot will do really. However, many people like to aim for quick release knots, things like a slippery half hitch or an event hitch. Now to tie an event hitch, you have the working side of your ridge line. This is your actual ridge line itself. On this side by your thumb, we take the loose side over our fingers, wrap it round our fingers just the once, and then we're going to go underneath the working side itself. We create a loop, we reach through the loop and grab the last bit of the loose end and just pull it tight. Once we've done that, we just give the knot a little bit of dressing up, pull it together, and that fixes it in place. We'll then keep hold of this and walk to the tree. To release this afterwards, we take the tail, give it a pull, and it comes off, making for an easy pack down. So at the other side of our ridge line, we'll wrap the ridge line itself around the tree, and then you can see here I go over itself, and then I'm going to pull it back the way it came. This is going to pull it really tight, and I'll do that as many times as necessary with the cordage that I've got. And then to finish off, what I do is I take a little loop and a loose end of my cordage and I pass that around and back through itself, and then I pull it back tight. This creates what we call a slippery half hitch. That leaves us with a nice taut ridge line. And then again at the end, I've got a tail here which I can pull, and this releases the whole thing. Okay, so the last knot that we need to know how to tie is a prusik knot. We're going to tie 2 of these, one for either end of our tarp, to pull it really nice and tight across our ridge line. Now they're a great knot. As you can see, when I pull on this bit which the tarp's going to be attached to, it locks itself in place by friction. However, if I grab the knot itself, I can easily slide it along. So let me show you how to tie these. What we will do is we'll take a piece of cord, we fold it in half, we create what we call a bite, and then we lay the bite over the ridge line. We pass the 2 tail ends through the bite, and we're going to do that a couple of times. And then once we've done that, we just need to dress up our prusik knot a little bit to make sure that the tails are always going from the inside to the outside. When we've done that, we've created our prusik knot. So we pull it nice and tight first, this neatens it up, and then, as you can see, it locks on itself, but I can still slide it along the cord. Okay, so the very last thing we need to do now is take our prusik knots and tie them with whatever knot you like to one of the attachment points along the edge of the tarp. Again, I'm just going to use like a half hitch here. Pull that through and then pull it tight. Dead easy. And then we slide these along and it pulls our tarp nice and taut. In questionable weather, it is always worth pitching your tarp first, just to make sure your gear stays dry. And as you can see, I've pitched the ridge line actually slightly above head height, because this just gives me plenty of space while I'm inside. If the weather does really close in though, of course you can lower this down. Now, a lot of questions are always asked about whether to pitch your ridge line underneath or above your hammock, and to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. It's all down to personal preference.